Alright. Hello everyone. It's your favorite programming error that just refuses to be fixed. Code here, and for once in my life, well, maybe not for once, but this is one of the rare times, I should say, where I'm actually pretty on top of the updates for Genshin Impact. Imagine that. Like, normally it takes me a while, and I'm like a week late, but this time we're right there. And that is very beneficial because I know that there's a new weekly boss. And normally this would be the time where I miss out on a weekly boss for the first time. Like for the first week it's around. Not this time. Not this time. We are diving right in, so I can do the weekly boss this week as well. Hello, by the way. First, wow. You know, by the way, I should probably... I am so used to just calling you by your last name. How distant is that, Kirill? Anyway, hello, you're first here today. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a very good day. Alright, let us see. The new quest. Unlock. Accept. Focus experience mode to avoid conflicts with other quests occupying locations or characters. Yes. That sounds like a good feature. That sounds like a very, very fun feature.
Huh. It's been a while since we visited Poisson. Maybe we should head over and have a look around.
Finally. Ah, I see you're also a fan of that new feature. I like that new feature already. And I haven't even experienced anything of it. I just know that it's a thing now. What do you mean, jump scare?
Osmanthus.
Alright. Let's go. Hello. Hello, everyone. There's also a new area. They finally filled the hole. Not aware? I posted an announcement yesterday. Which, to be fair, also it's on the schedule. Haha. But, yeah. Fair. Anyway, they filled the hole in the map. Hooray! Be happy. I wonder where the next expansion is gonna be. I think next expansion should probably be the start of Natlan, right? I don't know where Natlan would be, though. It could be beyond here, because I'm pretty sure there was like one structure somewhere that I saw that looked like... I think it might be over here. There was one structure that looked like a gate that would lead to another area, but the map just ends there. And I think that was over here. So I feel like that could be where they expand to Natlan, but I don't know. I haven't seen the quote-unquote leaked map in a while. Risk of Rain 2 reference. Same name of a planet. Interesting. Not lawn in the game? Not lawn. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Just how they pronounce it Sumeru instead of Sumeru. Everyone called it Sumeru, and then you arrive and it's like, actually it's called Sumeru. Fun. Alright, let's be on our way. Bishop Fontaine. Makes sense. Kirill, yeah. Kirill Ivanov. I think you said that before, but yeah.
Hey, traveler, Paimon.
Straight to Linny. Why, hello there.
Oh, Paimon knows that voice.
Over here.
Well then. Alright, I am curious when we're gonna get to meet Father in this story quest. Linny! Hello.
To borrow one of the more popular turns of phrase at the moment, this appears to be quite the fated
Probably
reunion.
to remind you.
Running
And I
into you
appreciate
two
that.
out of the blue like this has really made my day. I certainly wasn't expecting it.
You can say that again. What brings you to Poisson? Wait, Paimon's got it! You must be here for one of your magic shows, right?
It has something to do with father.
Actually, we've run into a bit of trouble on the
Yeah.
home front, so Father arranged for us to stay in Poisson for the time being.
Oh,
I
are Lynette
assume-
and Fremine here too?
I assume father might be the new weekly boss. Don't
along
confirm
with
or
most of the
deny
other
that,
members of the
please.
House of the Hearth.
I'll see for myself
You may
when we
have
get
noticed
there.
Poisson seems a bit more crowded than usual.
So you're saying nearly the entire organization has moved to Poisson? Sounds like you've run into way more than just a bit of trouble. What's really going on?
Well...
Since the two of you are so curious, perhaps I can fill in the gaps.
Well, that was quick.
You scared Paimon half to death.
No wasting any time there.
Father, you're here.
You know, on second thought, maybe we don't need to know. It's all probably super confidential House of the Hearth stuff, right?
It's girl
We
dad.
totally
It is
weren't
girl
trying to
dad.
lie or anything.
No need to be nervous. I could sense your genuine concern from your conversation just now. Of course, I can also understand your confusion. Sending so many Fatui here to Poisson, it's only natural that some might suspect an ulterior motive to be involved.
We still have our reservations about your organization. Although we do have a few friends now within the Fatui. Starting with Child. And I guess we could call the Knave our quote-unquote pal at this point. Linny and Lynette, definitely. And, well, there is the Wanderer, but he isn't part of the Fatui anymore. But he was. He was a Harbinger. Spinny going off about Risk of Rain still?
I understand. I'm well aware you've had your fair share of confrontations with the Fatui in the past, and I can't exactly guarantee that we'll remain on good terms in the future.
And
As for
Fremine,
right now,
yes.
however,
The more
I would say
forgettable
we have
of the
little reason
children.
to be at odds, wouldn't you
I
agree?
apologize.
The House of the Hearth could stand to be more open with those who have worked so closely with us in the past. As for the issue at hand, well, it hardly relates to any ulterior motive. To be frank, it all stems from a certain rumor circulating around the House of the Hearth. It's an internal matter.
What sort of rumor?
The rumor sort of
A
rumor?
rumor that a certain phantom child is hiding away in the House of the Hearth.
Some sort of ghost story, maybe?
A phantom child? Ooh, just hearing the name is giving Paimon the creeps.
A spirit that should have long ceased to exist is lurking in the shadows of the House of the Hearth. So I decided to bring the children to Poisson before continuing to investigate the situation. I expect I should be able to track down the spirit fairly quickly. After that, it's just a matter of resolving the situation, if you will.
Alright. Maybe
It
that
shouldn't be much
phantom
trouble
child
at
is gonna
all.
be the weekly boss.
If you're curious,
Who
or if you still have
knows?
some concerns, it might be advisable to stick around for a few days. I'm sure the children would be exceedingly pleased to welcome some visitors. Lenny, I'll leave you to entertain our guests. I have some matters to attend to.
Of course, Father.
We don't care about that cells. It is a nice offer there, but I don't know about that, Spinny. I don't know if I'm gonna grab that bundle. Couldn't help but feel intimidated during the conversation with the Knave. Now that she's got... She also suggested we stay for a few days, but why? Again, I just... that was my fault, though. That was my fault. I didn't hit pause quickly enough. This one I could have paused, unlike the text on the black screen when that happens.
It has long been a dream of mine to invite you to our home and introduce you to my other siblings. You're quite well known in the organization already.
The
A
father
lot
is
of people have
sus.
been talking about you, especially after everything with the prophecy.
No, whatever could be
If you're
sus about the
willing, why don't
knave?
you stay a while and have a little chat with us?
Alright. We don't have anything else to do right now anyway. But let's be clear, we're just gonna be there as guests, okay? Don't get any funny... Oh, wait a second. For your guests, that probably means we'll be treated to lots of yummy food, right?
One would
Of
hope.
course. During our stay in Poisson, we've been helping out the locals with some fishing. We bring in quite the bounty every day. In fact, today's the perfect chance for me to show you what I can do in the kitchen.
Ooh, Lily's
Let's
gonna
go.
cook for us?
I'll take you to where we're staying.
Croissant. Alright then. Ghost child abuse. I cannot escape. Nobody can escape the father. Of course, the child cannot escape the father. It's that simple.
We rented this house from one of the locals to use as a temporary base. I'll come back later and tidy up a bit. After that, it
I'll
should be
spoil it
all
all.
ready for you to stay in
Interesting.
tonight.
Speaking of Persona 5,
Awesome,
I think Persona 5 Royale
So,
is currently
where are we
on
off to
sale.
now?
So I might have to buy it
Well,
if
when
I want to
happened run
eventually
into
play
you
it.
two earlier, I was actually in the middle of distributing some supplies. With this many people staying in Poisson, we have to bring in outside supplies every now and then.
And yes, I
should
know how Joker
probably
looks.
make sure the rest of these provisions get delivered. Otherwise, people might start to get antsy.
Okay, we'll come with.
Yep.
There are all sorts of
Big
rumors
sale.
about your organization floating around out there. Paimon's not sure if she could even take a wild guess as to what's true and what's not. But now that we finally have the chance to see a day in the life of the house, we can take a good look at how you operate.
Well, you're more than welcome to come
Oh
along.
yes, we're gonna get some
Just follow
inside
me.
knowledge about the Fatui. Also, I'm happy I'm getting a big sale if I, grab it now. Da-da-da-da. Huh, interesting. There's even an Oculus down here somewhere that I missed. How very, very fascinating. Alright, continuing on.
Linny, we're finally here. The supplies. I'm assuming you've...
Brought them with me? Yep, here you go. Hello? Something caught your eye?
Have you heard of me,
It's
perhaps?
the Traveler in Paimon!
No way!
Ah, I'm famous. I see, I see.
Here, everyone, hurry! The Traveler and Paimon are here!
Well, then give me a warm welcome or I will kick all your asses, as I do.
One at a time, please. Don't crowd around them all at once. We don't want to scare off our guests now, do we?
Oh, it's alright! Gotta say, Paimon didn't realize we were this famous.
We should have realized,
Of
though.
course!
Instant
Father
gaming?
and Linny
What are you
have told
talking
us
about
so
now?
much about you.
Father told us about how you helped Linny. According to her, you're a trustworthy friend. And as far as she's concerned, that's pretty much the highest compliment we've ever heard her give.
Oh,
As you can imagine, everyone's been very curious about you.
well then.
I heard the Traveler is so strong that he can move a mountain with his bare hands.
Well, no, but I can
I heard
beat
Paimon
gods in
eats so
combat.
much that she can clean out the entire pantry at Hotel de Boer in just 3 days.
That might be
Wait a
accurate.
second, that's the rumor you heard about Paimon? Oh, not cool at all.
Mine's also a bit of a stretch. No, Paimon's isn't a stretch. She could easily eat everything there. 3 days, that's plenty of time for her, I think.
Oh, wait.
Anyway.
When guests visit, you're supposed to give them gifts and stuff, right? Oh, we don't need something like that. Besides, we don't have anything to give to you.
Was kind of on short notice
Come
that we
on,
were
why
invited.
insist? I can give you some of my new potions. Just pick your poison. And by that, I mean medicine or actual poison. I've got both.
Ah yes, poison. Perfect. I mean, they are for Tui after all.
Or maybe Shaplo can teach you guys about stealth. He's super good at it. He's never been caught.
Well, I made quite a few potions myself
now
back
that's
in
not
the
a bad
day.
idea. I know you usually prefer to fight head-on, but it never hurts to expand your bag of tricks, right? When it comes to eliminating your enemies, staying quiet can go a long way. Trust me, I would know. I was poisoned not too long ago, and I'm still dealing with the after effects. So I'm not quite as good as I was before, but I can still give you some pointers.
Also, hi Dylan.
Wait,
That's
you
in
said
French.
this. I didn't think you meant poison.
Because you are
and
French.
stealth tactics.
You are French now.
But those are the best things we can give you. You don't like them? Ooh, how about this? Tell me the name of someone who really annoys you, and we'll teach him a lesson for you.
Yep, this is classic Fatui stuff. The dangerous suggestions keep coming one after another. You start to get a bit overwhelmed.
Right, Selwar. I think that's enough suggestions for now. When it comes to being a good host, it's the thought that counts. You don't need a physical gift to make our guests happy. In fact, pestering them with suggestion after suggestion might make them more annoyed than anything. I would say your enthusiasm has certainly gotten across.
There we go. Absolutely.
Awesome! It's been so long.
Did it
since we've had
yesterday?
guests to play
Ooh,
with.
I'm gonna have fun
Anything
with
you
it.
need,
I
just let us
assume.
know.
All I know
Yeah,
is that there's a new
especially
weekly
if it's
boss.
poison or
And that
something.
is it.
I've got all sorts of potions for that.
Well, we'll talk
I
to you
assume
all
the
later.
weekly boss is either
We've
gonna
still
be
got
this
supplies to
phantom
distribute.
child or Father
All right,
herself.
see you later.
Probably Father herself. Another Fatui weekly boss. Makes sense to me. But I'll find out myself when we get there.
Bye. Lenny, about all that poison and stealth tactics talk just
Phantom
now.
child? Persona rope?
Scared you, did it?
Yes,
that
of
kind
course.
of talk comes with being part of the House of the Hearth. When Foltz was really young, he strangled all of his family pets, just out of curiosity. He was labeled a dangerous problem child and was abandoned by
Yeah,
his
this is all
family.
classic Fatui stuff right
Elwar
here.
has an unnatural obsession with potions. Father has forbidden her from trying all the different concoctions she comes up with, but she still tries to test them in secret. You really have to keep an eye on that one. Chaplot is around my age. While I'm mainly responsible for collecting intelligence, he handles surveillance. He's very passionate about his work and has no
Killed his
reservations
family
about taking
pets.
on some very difficult missions.
Which is also
I know
horrible,
you
but
two
still.
probably aren't used to that kind of talk, but I can promise
He
you they
says
only have the
happily.
best of intentions.
Again, they're Fatui.
Things
What
like
else would you
stealth
expect?
tactics and developing different poisons, they really mean a lot to them. They were just trying to share the best of what they could
Pets
offer.
are
that's all.
family. Damn. Damn. Skip that part? Why do you skip? Do you just want to get to more Father content as soon as possible and Father isn't featured here? So our cat is fam. And that is very, very understandable.
Filial, supplies are here.
Thanks. And who are these two? Outsiders?
Allow me to introduce you. This is the Traveler and Paimon.
Oh, you're the famous duo I've been hearing so much about. It's nice to meet you. I heard you've traveled
By
to
new
all
feature, do you
sorts of
mean
places.
the
Is
new
that
quest
true?
feature that I enabled at the start?
We're making our way all across
Where
to
it
that.
gets rid of
Oh,
any quest
for you.
conflicts?
You must be pretty familiar
Or
with
something
Fontaine
else.
by now then. Have you seen the new opera that started running recently? I think it's called... The 4,000 Thieves?
Oh, this is the first we've heard of it.
Oh, the feature that shows you if a character's trash or
It
not? Oh, that's
seems
been
like it's going
around
to be
for
fantastic.
a
From
few
what I've been
weeks.
able to tell from the posters,
Probably over a month
anyway.
at this point. Yeah, I've
You should
seen it.
definitely check it out if you have the time.
Oh, and there's the Blind Maiden, too. That one is supposed to have audience interaction. Seems pretty interesting.
Spend some time talking about popular culture, the atmosphere becomes more and more
After this
relaxed.
mission is over, I think I'll go get a manicure.
Oh, maybe I should dye my hair. Wonder how much it'll cost.
It is it just
Pretty much all my
because it's too
characters are
huge?
maxed out in terms of
Easier
how
to
good
get
they
along
are.
with than the others.
I can show you in a
Looks like the House
second.
of the Hearth has some normal members after all.
I heard that.
Oh! Oops.
I'm guessing you're referring to Foltz and the others? Yeah, we're definitely not all like them.
I bet those crazies are practically foaming at the mouth right now. I'm sure they just can't wait to get back to Snesh.
I'm gonna explore the new area. I don't know about the world quest
enough,
because
though,
I feel
yo.
like world quest is probably not voice acted, and
Don't
if it's
talk
not
about
voice
family
acted, it's not
members
important
behind
enough
their
for me to
back,
play on
right?
stream.
Whatever. Let's go.
But I will definitely check out the new area on stream to just have a
Guess
look.
this is goodbye then. If you ever have some time, we should go see the opera together.
Alright, bye! There he goes.
Well, that's it for the supplies. We should probably head back as well.
Well, they didn't seem too happy with each other. Seems like there could be something more going on here.
I shall observe. We should observe for now.
You're right. We're only here as guests after all. Oh, Linny's getting super far ahead. Come on, let's catch up.
In a second, I want to check something real quick. Alright. Should be in here, I think. Where is it? Guide. Battle. Where was the thingy where you check how good your characters are? Wasn't that in here somewhere? I thought it was in the Adventurer's Handbook. I guess not.
Where do you want to go?
Where do you check this shit again? Training guide, there it is. Yeah, as you can see, Furina isn't quite there yet, but everyone else is basically maxed out. Everyone else is basically fully maxed out. But I still need a little bit more of a push for Furina. Speaking of, can I give her a little bit more of a push right now? Not without grinding a bit more, okay. But I do have more of the lightless mass at least. Alright. Wait for Zhang Lala? Hey. We only go for the Zhang Dong here.
So, what do you think of the members you've met so far?
The other thing I sent you? What other thing? I'm trying to remember. Blue Archive? Oh, right. That. Yeah, good on you for getting the character you wanted right away. That is, good luck. Certainly got a lot of personality.
Well, Father is always encouraging us to be strong-willed and independent. So if there's one thing we've got, it's people who aren't afraid to speak their mind. Well, I should probably get cooking. Wanna join?
Of course!
Lenny, we need to cook.
Then let's head out and... Uh-huh. Fremine, what are you doing here?
Existing.
Perrie, nice to see you again!
You too. I heard you're here as guests of House of the Hearth. Welcome.
We were just going to make some food. Why don't you come along? I could use some help in the kitchen, and I seem to remember you mentioning you wanted to
I
make
haven't even
seafood
heard
soup
of
for
the fact that there
traveler
will be
in
a new
Paimon.
Hoyo game.
Seafood soup? Oh,
Plus,
Paimon
I don't
is
know.
drooling
Again, as you know,
already.
Genshin is taking up so
Were you
much of
looking for
my
something
Hoyo
just now,
time.
Fremine? Maybe I can help.
It's nothing. I just wanted to see if there were any extra supplies.
I'll have to look
Yeah,
into it
we've
though,
got some left over.
just
What do
in
you need?
case.
Some food and water. And some clean cloth, if possible.
No problem. Give me a second here. Food, water... Wait a minute. What do you need all of those for? You're
Hmm.
not on any missions as far as I'm aware.
Well, who
and you were
looks
just
sus
going to come
now,
meet with
huh?
us. So what's this all about?
I thought I'd grab an extra portion because I get hungry at night. Could be because I'm growing, you know?
Sure,
And-
Fremine, sure.
Fremine. You remember what I told you? You're not like me. Your lying skills still need some work.
Damn. Also, hi,
Tell me
Tormuse.
what's going
Hello.
on. Is it really bad enough that you have to keep it from your own brother?
By the way, is the audio okay? Should I turn it up a bit?
Maybe it'll be better
I
if
think
we
it's probably
gave them
fine.
some space.
Dude can't lie, you're right. Absolutely cannot.
This is the first time I've seen that kind of look on your face. Whatever happened, does it have something to do with Father?
Oh,
Yes.
oh, we're sussing out Father now.
Just follow me.
Ooh. The plot thickens. You know what, I think I will turn up the game audio a tiny bit more. No harm in it. Alright.
You're back! Oh, and you've brought some friends with you this time.
Who this?
Hello, my name's Linny. I grew up in the House of the Hearth. And you are?
Did you get Father?
Hi, Lenny. I'm also a child of the House of the Heart.
I haven't pulled
Just
for
like you.
I haven't pulled for
You can
Father, and
call me
I'm not sure if I
Perrie.
want to specifically.
It's nice to meet you.
I haven't really tried out the
Does
gameplay yet
that
to
name
see if
ring
I
any
am
bells,
fully
Lenny?
interested.
No, not at all.
Plus, I'm pretty happy
That's
with my
not a
current
name
party.
we have on our roster, I'm sure of it. What I'm not sure of, though, is how she managed to sneak in.
Also, is this that
She must be
Phantom
the
Child?
Phantom Child
Yep.
Father's been searching for.
Thanks, Linny.
From the looks of it, I'm guessing you were the one that found her, Fremine. You, haven't told Father, have you?
No, I haven't told anyone. I've just been.
And yes,
keeping
I
her
did say
hidden.
that.
For how long?
About half a month now.
So ever since we got to Poisson, then. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
To be fair, though, I'm
know
also
what I'm
using
doing.
Really?
You know,
Because from where I'm standing, it
certain
looks like you're
not
hiding the very
Archon on
person
my
Father has
team.
been trying to find.
who also uses
Father finds
HP
out
for
about this,
attacks.
everyone involved is going to be punished. You know the rules of the house, Fremine. I know you do. Father doesn't tolerate any form of betrayal. So why are you doing this?
I've thought it through. And I just can't hand her over like that. Linny.
And that's gonna be the
don't you
conflict,
remember
right?
Last year, Sheplo nearly died after getting poisoned during that one mission.
We're gonna side with
He
this
wasn't
kid,
able to get back
and then
before the
Father's gonna
poison
attack
started
us, and
taking
that's gonna be the
effect.
weekly boss.
And not a single person was there to help him. That night,
I see. I'm already
while I
seeing
was
it
sleeping,
coming.
I heard a voice telling me to go save him. I opened my eyes, but I couldn't find the source of the voice. I
Voice
thought maybe I
tracing
was just
journey.
hearing things. But I went to look
Nice.
for him anyway. Luckily, I got there with enough
And your
time
journey's
to
just
save
gonna
his
continue,
life.
I assume.
That feeling of being haunted, of hearing voices. It's happened many times in the House of the Hearth. I'm sure you've noticed.
So what you're saying is, that was her? She was the one who spoke to you that night?
Unless there are other spirits roaming around the House of the Hearth, I don't think there's any other possibility.
Okay.
If Clairvy were our enemy, it wouldn't matter whether she was a spirit or an actual child. I would have acted without a second thought, because that's what Father ordered us to do.
But you think
But
she's not
been
an
living
enemy?
with us, helping us from the shadows all this time. I think that makes her family. I couldn't just hand her over to be dealt with. Not when there's so much we still don't know.
Oh boy.
So what's your plan then?
Where's Lynette?
You
Probably
can't keep her
busy.
here forever.
She might be
Someone
on a
is
mission.
bound to find out eventually.
She might be on a mission for all we
haven't thought
know.
that far yet. I don't want to disobey an order from Father, but I also don't want to put Clairvy in danger.
Come with me. There are a couple things I'd like to say to you in private.
Oh boy. Well, just give it a second and we'll hear a body discovery announcement.
Those two sure care a lot about each other. Well, they gotta find
Ah,
a way of
right,
showing
the
it. From
drops.
where Paimon was floating,
Almost
it sure
forgot
seemed like they were
that
about
the
to
drops
bite each other's
are
heads
back.
off. No way. They
New
have a
update,
really
new
deep
drops.
bond. I could tell right away, because I also have a friend like that. I just don't know how long that kind of bond can last.
What do you mean?
The darkness in the house runs deeper than you can imagine. No one can get out alive.
I mean, it's the
Sorry,
Fatui. That makes
I
sense.
really didn't mean to drag anyone else into this.
Oh,
Random
really?
about-
You didn't
of
mean
Lily
to?
destroying
Because I, for
Fremine.
one, wish you did.
Huh? What do you mean?
You know, when we were younger, you didn't call me Linny. You called me brother, just like Lynette. We grew up together, the three of us. We were all orphans, all rescued by Father. Of all the siblings in the House of the Hearth, I think our bond was the closest. Later on, when you started calling me Linny, I wasn't actually surprised. After all, Lynette and I are related by blood.
As
We've
you
had to
know,
depend on each other to
starts
survive long
starts
before we joined the house.
expositioning.
Linny,
The darkest and most difficult moments of my life happened before you and I had ever met.
No, I did
I'm
not.
sure that's true for you as well.
I did not. Should I?
Even so, Fremine, we've stood by each other for all these years now, and to me, that means more than blood. You and Lynette are the most important people in my life. No one can replace you. So I won't let you face anything alone. Not if I can help it.
Oh, looks like things are getting kind of heated between Linny and Fremine. Maybe we should go check on them.
Yeah, sure. Father's gonna execute them.
Oh,
Betrayal.
it's raining. I should put my clothes away.
After you finish the quest, you will get a lore bomb. Oh, fuck. Yep, they weren't kidding about her being a phantom child.
Osmanthus wine
What was
takes
that?
the
She's just like, and I'm gone. And I'm back. They aren't kidding. Phantom child. Phantom child, absolutely 100%.
It's time to eat.
Okay, yes. They weren't lying. They're calling her the Phantom Child for a reason.
Hey, you two! Hope we aren't interrupting anything.
Delicious
Like a
pancakes?
fight,
Yes.
or- Oh, wait a minute, Fremine. You're not crying, are you? Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. Thanks for asking.
Well, we're all friends here, right? We've been through so much together.
We sure
so
have.
If there's anything we can do to help, just say the word.
It's just a small family dispute. It's not something our guests should trouble themselves with. In fact, it might be better if your stay ended here.
Yeah, whose house perfect? Congratulations. I will try to perfect my last team member so I have a full team of perfect members. But sometimes having guests around can come in handy.
What are you getting at, Traveler?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Exactly.
I just... Thank you. I was really hoping to keep you out of it. But even if I could think of some other reason to turn you away, I'm not sure I could convince you.
You know how I
I
am.
know things could turn
I like
dangerous,
getting
so
involved in shit.
I promise you this. From now on, I'll protect you like my life depends on it.
Me too.
Well, back to the matter at hand then. If we don't plan on handing Clairvy over to Father, then our only other option is to solve the mystery of her identity before Father is able to track her down. That means
So how do we
finding
do
out
that?
where she came from and what she's doing here. Then we can send her on her merry way and pretend like none of this ever happened.
I've tried that already.
Well, now you have help. Only so
And?
much one person can do alone.
And nothing. I tried taking her somewhere really far away, but after some time, she just reappeared.
Phantom child. Telling
She even
you.
came with us all the way to Poisson.
I
It
saw
seems like
her
wherever the
disappear
house
and
is,
reappear,
she
okay?
follows.
I don't know much about spirits. Do you two have any ideas?
Let's see here. Paimon remembers hearing something like, if you fulfill a spirit's last wish before they die, they'll let go of whatever's keeping them here and return to the ley lines.
Alright.
It's just that Paimon doesn't
Fair.
really remember where she heard that, so it's not guaranteed to work or anything.
But what would her last wish even
Well,
be?
sounds like it's worth a shot. Guess that means we should go ask her about her wish. But first,
Also,
Fremen,
hi, Rob.
I need you to promise me something.
What is it?
I need
Ketchup
you to
isn't
promise
the
me that this
ultimate
will
sport
stay
drink.
between the two of us. We're the masterminds behind this whole thing. No one else gets involved. Can you do that for me?
Oh god, the masterminds.
I promise.
All right. Then
Also,
let's
hi,
seal
Deadly.
the promise just like when we were kids. Fist bump on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What new area? The new area.
I swear.
Ow. They added. Well, look who just appeared. There's Lynette. So much for no one else getting involved.
Whoa!
Ow.
Lynette!
I'm doing pretty well. Just like, yeah, just the two of us. Nobody else needs to get involved. Ow. And then boom, suddenly Lynette. Lynette jump scare. Was she listening the entire time, or was she a bit late? But it is a nice way to bring her in. Scared me.
Look, what a surprise. What brings you here, dear sister? And,
What might bring her here?
When exactly did you get here?
Unimpressed face.
You're an idiot, brother. And you too, Fremine.
Well then.
You 3, Traveler. And you 4, Paimon.
Oh boy.
Wait,
I see an
you?
annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving
I've
her
seen
arms in the
Clairvy
air
around
like
the
she's
house
Suddenly
totally
the
oblivious
little
to any
poker
attention
face,
she
yeah.
might draw to herself.
Poisson, so
That
I
girl is
figured she
Sori,
must
my
not have
neighbor
come
and
with
good
us.
friend since we were
But
children.
it turns out
You know,
you
the
were
kind of
just
friend
hiding
you'd
her.
never see yourself making today.
Also, thank
But
you.
it just kind of works
Thank
out
you,
because
Rob.
you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but Star.
Didn't see any teleporters? What do you mean you didn't see any teleporters? There's literally... They did the thing again where they have a teleport waypoint already activated in the new area. I haven't gone there yet, but I know I can just teleport straight into the new area and be near a statue.
I heard you talking about your plan. Rather than steering clear of the situation, I'd rather fully join in.
Reigns too. Well, you replied to the question of the day, which you can
If
probably
you don't
tell
agree,
is related to
I'll have
this.
no choice but to report everything back to Father. Simple as
So
that.
I'm gonna acknowledge that reply as something
You're not
related
giving us
to
much wiggle
Genshin.
room here, Lynette.
No correction
Well,
there.
I guess we're all in this together then. After we talk to Clairvy, we'll figure out our next move. There's no time to lose. Let's go.
Yeah, none of the Risk of Rain characters are enemies, but there are teleporters. Just the Genshin teleporters. Alright, let's talk to that Phantom Child again. Of all of us here now.
Thank you for bringing me this food, you guys. She said she's full, but the food doesn't look like it's even been touched.
Well, she is a spirit. She is a spirit, it's true.
That's right. Based on what I've been able to observe, it doesn't seem like Clairvy can interact with the physical world at all. Still, when she's presented with food, she'll always linger around it for a good little while.
Tasty lasagna, though.
Maybe, in her mind,
ow,
she really is eating
I am
those
getting
things.
maybe a little bit hungry,
Does
though,
she
when
know
we're
that
talking
she has
about
already
this.
passed away?
I've tried to ask her, but she didn't answer. My guess
Also, by
is
the
that
way,
she's
thank you for the
just as
hydrate, Rob,
confused as we are.
despite all your throws.
Or maybe she couldn't understand the question at all.
Appreciate that one.
Clairvy, if you've got some time, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure. Oh, another new friend. Hi.
And that's what I
Hello.
get. And that's what I get.
Clairvy,
Rob
how
going
did you
off
join
on
the
a
House of the Hearth?
destructive
Huh?
streak here.
Isn't it the same for everybody? The Knave brings you here and then you can't leave.
It's just that your name, it's not on the roster. And I've never seen you before.
Honestly,
The
I agree.
roster?
The scream is a
Oh, I get it now.
bit
I think
very
there might be some things
loud.
you don't know about this place.
And that is the thing, because the scream is always the same volume. The scream is always the same volume. You want to know why it sounds louder? Because Genshin is, by default, more quiet. Which means, when I'm playing Genshin, I have to turn my, total volume up a lot more, which naturally also means that the scream is gonna come across as louder. And in FNF, I play like with maybe like 2/3 of the volume that I have enabled in Genshin. So the scream is like more drowned out by everything else going on. It is a thing.
The people in charge, they're not as nice as they look. They say they keep a roster, but it's not complete. There are a lot of people who aren't on it, and never will be.
Also, the
In
people
this
in charge
house,
not being nice?
some
Of course
people
not,
are
they're the
family.
Fatui.
Other people are just test subjects. Those kinds of people aren't ever going to get a place on the roster. Unless it's the roster of people.
Also, is
who've been
Clairvy kind of implying that she was one of those test
does that
subjects
mean the
before
name-
she died?
She.
Is that what
Is
she's
there anyone that
implying
can
here?
vouch for you?
Perrie. She's my best friend. She's the only one I trust in this place.
Have either of you heard of that name before?
No.
Probably also a test subject
Me
not on the
neither.
official roster.
Clairvy, Perrie. Neither of those names are on the roster. But it seems like she's telling the truth. Either that, or this kid's already got a bag of tricks bigger than mine. Maybe we should try a different approach.
Alright.
Clairvy, do you have a wish?
A wish?
A wish, you know,
It can
the
be
thing you
anything
use
you
to get
want.
new characters.
Just imagine. It's your birthday, you're blowing out the candles, and your wish is...
I wish for Hu Tao. Of course you would, Spinner.
To go outside. Where the sun can find me. That's it? Well, that sounds easy enough.
If it sounds too easy, then it probably is not gonna
darkness in the
actually be
house
that easy.
Runs deeper than you can imagine. No one can get out alive.
Alright, I think I get it. What did she mean by that? Things can't be this simple. Again, she was talking about people who aren't on the official roster because they're more like test subjects. Now she's talking about how nobody can get... Then she talked about how nobody can get out alive and how she just wants to go out and see the sun. She was one of those test subjects, as is her friend, who might still be around. And she tried to escape and go outside and was caught and killed. And now these rumors about this phantom child are taken so seriously because nobody's supposed to know about these test subjects. That is my theory on the matter. Which means we can only hope that her friend is actually still alive. But who knows?
Okay, time to divide and conquer. Listen up. I've got a plan. I'll try and find a way to use basic illusory magic to take Clairvy outside and bring her somewhere with sunlight. Lynette, try and find the list of executions that Clairvy was talking about, and see if her name is on it. Fremine,
Alright.
you stay in Poisson. We can't be the only ones who've had run-ins with Clairvy. I need you to collect intel on everything she's said and done.
Understood.
And what do I do?
I'll try my best.
What about us? What should we do?
We should just look pretty.
I really appreciate your willingness to help, but this is a family matter. I don't want to drag you in too deep. It's too risky. Let me think. Since Father considers you to be guests, maybe you could stick by her
distract
side for a
Father.
little while. You don't need to do anything except keep up some nice, casual conversation.
Alright, let's just hope Paimon doesn't...
Paimon gets it. You want us to just...
Yeah. The problem is we have Paimon with us. Paimon is not exactly known for keeping things hush-hush. So, if we ever get questioned on, hey, why are you suddenly here instead of talking to Linny? Paimon might accidentally let a few more things slip than necessary. But sure, let's just hope she knows how to keep her mouth shut here. But I think I will save Primos until Hu Tao Banner's back. I mean, fair. You know what? I might also save until then and try to get her weapon again. So I can improve it for Zhongli. Maybe I will do that. How should we contact you?
I'll give you a magic bird. If Father suspects something, all you need to do is release it when she's not looking, and it'll alert me that something's wrong. Of course, that's only as a last resort. If Father doesn't seem to notice us, there's no need to make contact. We'll reconvene here tonight after all's said and done.
Alright.
If the worst case scenario happens and we're discovered, just tell Father everything. We're not going to let our guests get punished for our own actions. That's where we draw the line.
How very kind. Very well look forward to Hu Tao Banner for different reasons, but still. I mean, I look forward to Hu Tao Banner for Zhongli. You look forward to it for actual Hu Tao. It is totally fair, though. Alright, be careful, Linny.
You too. Okay, this is where we part. Father should be at the beach nearby.
Beach episode! Yay!
I really hope this goes well. No, it has to go well. That's the only way this can get resolved.
Alright, let's go to the beach. I mean, Father, she, her pronouns. Well, because that is her title. She is the father of the House of the Hearth. But I see the confusion because the title sounds more masculine. And all the members of the organization, all the members of the House of the Hearth are her children. They all work for their father. Speaking of, we're about to run into... There's also... Oh my god, Tartaglia is here! Tartaglia is here along with Father. Hello.
It's the Knave and child. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Snezhnaya recuperating? What are you still doing in Fontaine?
Oh, it's you two. I didn't expect to run into you here.
And then he died. The end.
I was unconscious for quite a while after the fight
Actual
in the
father?
Primordial Sea.
Captions
After
keep
I
putting
woke
it in
up,
quotes.
I
Yep,
realized
not
I was
actual
being taken
father.
back to Snezhnaya, and well, I couldn't have that now, could I? Not when I've still got unfinished business here in Fontaine. So, I mustered up all my strength and made the journey back on my own.
What sort of unfinished business are we talking here?
Aren't you supposed to be dead? I got
It
better.
has to do with Skirk, my master. I really wanted to meet up with her, but by the time I got back, she had already left. I still have so many questions for her. Without any other leads,
Also,
all
why
I could
did it
do was ask
have
the
to
Knave
start
help me
to
track her
storm
down.
the second we started the
She must have left behind
conversation?
some traces from her time in Fontaine.
I was sunny out a second ago.
Okay, so have you found any clues?
Unfortunately, no. While the House of the Hearth is adept at collecting all manner of intelligence,
Also that
certain
right there,
existences
the Knave,
can
that is
still manage to
father.
escape our purview.
Basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me, she's not going to be found. But that problem has an easy fix. I just need to become stronger, and then...
And then coughing.
Paimon thinks you should focus on getting better first.
The worst of it is over.
Is it though?
It's all thanks to that one kid from the House of the Hearth. Elwar, I think her name was. She gave me a bunch of random potions to drink. They didn't go down easy, let me tell you. Pain and chills all over. But they really did help speed up my recovery. And that's good, because it looks like I really do have to head back this time. The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me I'm needed for some sort of project.
No one reacts to lightning strikes.
Yeah,
of course.
that's the one. I heard
I'm just
Regretter's
waiting for the
involved, too.
lightning to
I'm
strike
not
me
looking forward to having
directly.
to listen to all
It's
his
happened
monologuing,
before.
That's for sure. Hey, maybe you could think of a way for me to stay in Fontaine
I
for a
actually
little
have
longer.
gotten struck by lightning
Helping
during
Linny and the others
conversations,
brush
and
up
that
on
does
their
actually
fighting skills
damage
would be
me.
Far more interesting. If you and I could spar, that would be even better. I've been waiting for a chance to see you go all out.
Strangers has
what a
helped him? It
sweet
did.
little
Well, it wasn't
daydream that
strangers.
is.
It was someone else from
But
the
I
organization.
also have a role to play in all this. I'll be leaving Fontaine shortly as well. Besides, considering how little they see fit to step outside the homeland, being called on to return to Snezhnaya by such illustrious dignitaries, what a great honor. Wouldn't you agree?
One I could do without, I'd say.
So, how do we keep this conversation going?
Does it kind of seem like they're...
Just casually trash-talking their colleagues behind their backs. Ah, the Fatui.
So, dear guests of the House of the Hearth, to what do I owe the visit?
Well, we just...
Paimon, let me do the talking. Shut up. Wanted to learn more about you. Yes, totally.
Right! We're super close to Linny and the others, but we still don't know much about you.
Is that so?
Very convincing.
Introductions have already been made, have they not?
Oh, well, you see? There's only so much you can learn about someone from a short introduction. At least tell us something a little extra, like, why do you call yourself Fatui?
There we go.
Huh,
We get the
good
explanation.
question. I'd also like to know.
What is it with that title?
The fact that you have to ask tells me our intelligence work has been quite successful. Telling you the answer to that question would only serve to undermine that success. And we can't have that, now can we?
What do you
Spoken
mean?
like a true diplomat. That was some expert sidestepping right there.
Well, if there's nothing else, I think I'll take my leave. I still have a small matter to resolve at home.
Well, we didn't really talk for long. Oh boy. If the Knave leaves right now, she's sure to run into Linny and Clervy. Should I release the bird Linny gave us? No, we should try to get her talking about something else first. About the House of the Hearth, what does the organization mean to you?
I'd also like to hear the answer to this.
I'm not very good at being subtle. That's what I was worried about. That's why I was worried about us being the team to distract the Knave. Paimon really is the worst.
I've met some of the members of your
at this
organization,
kind of
and they all
stuff.
seemed like really good kids. They actually reminded me of Tonya and Tusser. Which, by the way, if you ever betray them, I'm just letting you know, I won't let you off easy.
And why would I betray them?
Well, you've already betrayed the House of the Hearth once, haven't you?
Oh.
At least, that's what I heard.
Oh, lore.
Okay, I admit. That's just what the old man told me. The rooster, I mean.
The Knave betrayed the House of the Hearth, so does that mean what Clervy said was true? Does the Knave really treat her children like test subjects?
Wait, did you really do something bad to those kids?
Never mind what I've done. I'm more curious as to what the mighty
Head of the
rooster
household,
had
but
to
also
say.
the Knave
Care
plays
to
a
enlighten
subservient
me?
role.
Ah, well, nothing much. Just some stuff about you taking out many other members of the House of the Hearth, and even going so far to attack your own family.
It is an interesting thing to talk about, but I think it's like a matter of perspective. Like within the Fatui Harbingers, she's the Knave. And the Harbingers are subservient to to the Tsaritsa of Nesnaya. So she is subservient to basically the ruler of their nation. But in the House of the Hearth, she is the father. So basically the head of the household. So she's the head of the House of the Hearth, but still subservient. But then again, why out of all the Harbingers is she called the Knave? When everyone else has some kind of other title that is less subservient. Why does she have the most subservient title of the Harbingers? Curious. Very curious.
I see.
Oh, based on your reaction, I'm guessing it's all a bunch of lies.
Hardly. I don't appreciate his particular turns of phrase, but I suppose he didn't say anything untrue.
Oh,
Although
straight up
it would be
admitting
more
it.
accurate to say that there is a certain level of prejudice involved, but I don't intend to clear that up just yet. Prejudice has a funny way of concealing the real truth behind certain things, an attribute that I find to be quite advantageous. Call yourself a Fontainian, for example, and people will assume all sorts of things, when the real truth is that this is simply the land where I was raised.
Huh? You're not actually from Fontaine? But then why did you try to help out with the prophecy and everything?
Probably because of some of
I
her
was trying
children.
to protect the children born in Fontaine.
Yeah.
Claiming that I myself was a Fontainian simply made it easier to operate. People would hardly suspect a fellow Fontainian of having any ulterior motives. Who wouldn't want to save their homeland after all? The primordial sea wouldn't have any effect on me, but it would have caused great harm to the House of the Hearth.
Alright.
Well, you wanted extra information, didn't you? There you go. I hope that's satisfied.
How long do we
your
have to keep her
curiosity.
busy? We're not very good at this, I think. So much for learning anything else about her betrayal. She probably only revealed that other secret in order to change the subject. It seems like she's trying to avoid talking about her past.
So, you stayed in Fontaine for the kids. I guess I was wrong to believe you'd betray them. Apologies. Looks like I was holding on to some prejudices myself.
Good. Like I said, I like it when others have misconceptions of me.
Actually, while I was recuperating at the House of the Hearth, there was something else that really caught my attention. I heard that members always resolve disputes and arguments with a friendly spar, and the loser has to back down.
Of course he would be interested
Seems
in
pretty
that.
cool if you ask me. Would also give them plenty of opportunities to hone their skills.
Of course,
Well, that's
Child
only
is
a
such a
recent
battle
development. In the
maniac.
past, such spars weren't nearly so friendly. The losing party would lose everything, including their life.
They were that high stakes? Ooh, at least that's not a thing anymore.
Well, the current atmosphere's not half bad. I'm a bit jealous, actually. You've got so many family members around you, and you even get to live with them.
Having a lot of family around means dealing with a considerable amount of bickering and scheming.
Also true.
Once Tonya and Tusser enter their rebellious phase, I'm sure you'll understand. Just imagine. Tusser becomes obsessed with plucking out strands from the rooster's mustache, or Tonya decides to dye her hair 42 different colors.
Oh no, you're traumatizing
okay.
him.
I get the picture.
Child, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about what will happen. It's going to to the topic of Tonya and Tusser. Child begins to share story after story. That conversation that will usually leave you falling asleep, but you find yourself grateful to Child for buying you some time.
Well, would you look at the time? I should probably get going.
And the storm's done.
Traveler, Paimon, I'm not sure where our paths will cross next, but the next time we run into each other, we should definitely try and find some time to spar.
Oh yeah, I'll totally do your weekly boss fight again.
Maybe this is a conversation we can have when you look less like you're gonna keel over.
I fight him every week. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, thanks for everything, Arlecchino.
No thanks necessary. You also played a part in obtaining the Gnosis. I would say we can call ourselves even.
I like the sound of that. Well, I'm off. See you all some other time.
We should probably get going too. Do you want to head back with us?
Oh? You want me to leave so soon?
Oh, well, you see,
I'm rather enjoying the evening breeze. If you don't mind, I think I'll stick around for a bit. I have some things to think about.
I hope she actually sticks around. We're buying so much
Apologies for not
time in that
attending to you
case.
like a proper host. Please forgive this slight. I do hope you'll have a pleasant
And then you
stay.
hang out. Well, fair.
managed to keep her distracted
Take
until
some
nightfall.
keys.
Good thing Child was there to keep the conversation going. You don't think she suspected anything, do you?
She might.
Oh, I wonder if Liddy ran into any issues. Let's hurry back and see how everything went.
Already on my way. Hopefully things went well. I mean, we did keep her distracted for a while. Okay, the squad has gathered. Now let me join in. If they're all back, that must mean they all completed their missions without any trouble. I would hope.
Well, long story short, we ran into a small issue. Clairvy can't go into the sunlight.
What do you mean?
Everything
Flashback!
was fine at first. She followed me up to the surface just like I told her.
And then she
But
perished.
as I let her out of the shadows and into the sunlight, she vanished. I turned around and there she was, standing at the edge of the shadows, silently watching me.
Huh. Maybe she's afraid of
And
something.
then they had to wait for the storm to pass.
Oh, it wouldn't be her wish if that were the case.
Yes.
Well, we could always try pushing her into it.
Yeah, exactly. Not sure pushing works on a non-corporeal being. How do you expect to push a phantom?
Oh, true.
I've pretty much tried it all already. Nothing worked. Eventually, the sun went down, so all I could do was bring her back here. How did it go with you, Lynette?
Good. I've got the list. It's right here.
Really? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's take a look. Oh, that's a lot of pages. Oh, it's
Just
gonna
move
take
the
forever
sun
get
to
through
her.
We can each take a
Genius.
section. Here.
Move the shade
La
easy.
Pouillade,
She might just vanish in that
Amboise,
case. We know she can
Champagne,
vanish.
Aurore.
Look at all these executions.
Oh, yikes.
Yep.
That Aurore
List
guy
of
has
people
a huge
executed.
scar on his face. He's kind of giving Paimon the creeps.
Again, we know the Fatui aren't
I've
exactly
met
good
him
people.
before. The scar is from an injury he received during a mission. I still remember him joking with me about it. He said any future lover would take one look at him and then lose all interest.
Yeah, she do be a little bugger.
Anything else?
Well, I asked if there was someone he was interested in. He said no, and that's where our conversation ended. It was only later that I learned he really did have someone he liked. He risked everything to escape so he could be with her, but it didn't work. One day, Father asked to see him, and, well, I never saw him again after that.
Does she handle all the executions herself?
So that means the Knave,
Is she doing all that stuff
It
personally?
may seem cruel, but it's just one of the rules of the house.
If so,
Betrayal
really,
is
like,
not to be taken lightly. We know too many secrets to come and go as we please. So, if you do try to leave, you pay with your life.
A solemn atmosphere descends over the group as you look through the list of names. However,
Her name's not
I guess
here,
we didn't
huh?
find her. Yeah.
Well, that's not too surprising. It doesn't seem like this list is complete. It only contains records dating back around 5 years. Let's shift our attention then. Fremine, were you able to find anything out? Fremine.
Sorry. I was thinking about something.
Mind sharing your thoughts with us?
I managed to talk to quite a few people, but I couldn't help but notice that the atmosphere in the house was a little strange.
Strange?
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been arguments in the past, times when people haven't gotten along. Chaplot and Filiol are a good example of that.
Oh, those are two of the people that we met while delivering supplies. Paimon can see how they might not get along. They had very different vibes, and their,
yes, we all know
interests
that catchphrase.
seem to be pretty different as well.
And it's a good one.
That's to be expected, actually.
I
Father
want to
brought us all
die
here,
someday.
shared her knowledge with us, taught us how to fight. That's one thing we all share. But that's also where the similarities end. Not all of us feel the same desire to stay here. As members of the House of the Hearth, we're also considered part of the Fatui. And to a lot of people, that's an identity they never asked for.
She doesn't want for executions.
Certain members get older and realize
Detailed
they want something
descriptions
else
of the
for
people. If
themselves.
it's just a list of names
But
of pictures, that would
considering the
be
rules of the house,
a bit of a
most people would
yikes.
Never say that out loud.
You're right.
People like Chaplot and Foltz are loyal to Father and her vision. They're proud to be part of the Fatui. Filiol and Nantoy, on the other hand, well, they aren't quite as enthusiastic.
These kinds of conflicts have always been there. It's not like Father is in the dark about any of this.
Well, that's true. But it just feels like things have gotten worse lately. Filiol and the others, it seemed like they were meeting in secret to talk about something. I can't say for sure, but I think they've met Clairvy.
Well, then should we pressure
You
them on
think
that?
she's been inciting them to act out?
No, not exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if she said something to them about the darkness in the house and how deep it runs. She's told me about it before. Experiments being run on children. People being used as pawns on the battlefield without so much as the strength to survive.
And they just believed all that? Without any evidence?
Well,
Clairvy's words
maybe
probably
Clairvy
gave them
is the
excuse they were looking
evidence.
for. Whether they actually believe them to be true is secondary.
This is all because of Project Stuja, isn't it?
What project?
Whoa. Hold on a second.
Alright, now you have
Project
intel.
Stuja all about, huh? This is the second time it's come up now.
Tell me about
Sorry,
it.
but I'm not sure of the details either.
Tell me of the details you do
I
know.
only know what Father has told us, which is
One
that
child
it's
said,
something
"I
the
still want
Rooster
to
and
know
the Greater
more."
have been working on together. Apparently, it has to do with the Fatui's strategic plan for the future. Because the House of the Hearth was so successful in obtaining the Gnosis,
Why
we
are they
now
just
have
brushing
the
past it
honor
every
of
time?
playing a key role in Project Stuja.
Wait, but Isn't that a good thing?
See you in a bit, Spinne.
Key role is just another way of saying dangerous role. To us, the whole thing is an inconvenience. Father thinks so too, but she's in no position to refuse.
Gotta go? Oh,
Their
I will
plan
enjoy the
isn't
game.
exactly
See you around, Dormiers.
unreasonable,
Thanks for
and
checking
they've been
in.
funneling the house a lot of funding. It's just that we'll lose a lot of members in the process. Participating in the plan, it's an honor in name only.
Oh
What they're
boy.
really trying to do is subdue us. The existence of an intelligence organization outside their control makes them feel uneasy.
Looks like the Fatui are plotting something big, but given how little Linny and the others seem to know about it, I probably won't be able to learn much. I should keep a sharp eye out during any future dealings with the Fatui to see what I can learn.
Okay, super complicated top secret Fatui business aside, what does all of this have to do with the conflicts you were talking about earlier? Paimon doesn't get the connection.
External pressure has a way of exacerbating internal strife. You can't overlook the power of fear either. People are afraid of dying.
Yes.
And that fear is often the impetus for a lot of stupid decisions.
Also
I
true.
thought resolving the Clervy situation would make everything go back to normal. But it looks like things are more complicated than I thought. If we leave Filial and the others to their own devices, sooner or later, Father will be forced to take action.
And more
We can
executions
only
will
focus
happen,
on
hooray.
one situation at a time, brother.
You're right. Even if we confront Filial and the others, it won't do any good. It might even make matters worse. We should focus on Clervy for now. Well, it's getting late. We should head back and get some rest. We'll try again first thing tomorrow. Lynette, you stick with me this time.
First thing tomorrow, huh? Does that mean I
Fremenade,
have to
keep
do a time
close
skip?
eye on Filial and the others. Make sure they don't do anything they'll regret. Good work today, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Or will it auto time skip? Rest at the temporary accommodations. I guess we'll do that. Rest. And welcome back. Mind traces all sorts of thoughts, and yeah, that's it.
I'm always looking forward to an early night, but she can't sleep at all. Hey, you don't think the Knave will be too angry with Linny and everyone if she finds out about all this,
Probably
do you?
will. And then we're gonna have to fight her.
She smiles. If she were to actually get angry... Ooh, you have to protect Paimon if that happens, okay, Traveler?
You can just hide behind me.
Trust is ever, Traveler.
Well, look who's there.
Look over there!
Clervy?
Quick, let's catch up with her before anyone sees.
Well, 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 what might this little phantom be up to now?
Over there!
She appeared! And she disappeared! Stop appearing and disappearing!
Oh, where is she going? Oh, if someone sees her, we're toast.
Well, at least she only appears for brief moments, you know, not like many people would be able to see her in that case. What, is she trying to go back outside again? Alright, because it's dark out.
Oh, look! She stopped!
Hey, Clervy, how's it going?
Clervy! Shh! I opened the window while no one was looking. Look how pretty the outside is.
It is pretty. Window?
If only I could have more than this. You probably think I'm being silly, huh? All this hopeless resisting. It's better to dream of what I could have than try to make it a reality, right? Please, help us get on the same page here, Clary.
Yeah.
We need you to tell us what you know. Can you do that?
Sure. Although, after you hear all this, I think you might regret that decision.
I never regret any decision.
Everyone
I
in
never
this
make any
family
mistakes.
is nothing more than a tool. Something to be used and exploited. We're all expendable. Including me.
I
As
gathered
long as
that
you're
that much was
useful,
the case.
You get to stick around. Lose your value. You're handed over to the doctor, experimented on, and given a fate worse than death. I've seen it happen again and again.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
The doctor
You're
is
saying
definitely
The Knave did all that?
interesting.
It's just, that doesn't seem like something she would do. She's scary and all, but it seems like even she has lines she wouldn't cross.
Yeah, that's what she seems like, but she likes
I
having
knew you wouldn't believe
misconceptions
me.
about her. She likes when people have misconceptions
Everyone
about
thinks
her.
she's a good person. They all think of her like a real mother.
Actually,
Mother?
father.
But she doesn't deserve that title. She's disgraced it and tarnished it. And if I had things my way, I'd never see her again. If only
Yep.
Perrie were
No
here,
need for that guy to be
she'd
playable.
understand.
Perrie. There's that name again. Also, Paimon's getting a strange feeling. It almost feels like she's not really here with us. Paimon can't tell if she's actually talking to us or if she's mistaken us for
father.
someone else.
Well, you might know, but I need to figure that out. Higgs Nagashi wants to get the belt, damn. Oh, she's a spirit, it could be anything.
Well, in any case, it seems like she really needs someone to talk to. We should keep her company for a little longer. She looks so young. But it seems like she's been through a lot.
It's getting windy. I should close the window. Ooh, look at the moon. Isn't it pretty? Hey, wanna hear a secret? I heard that if you look up at the night sky in Snezhnaya, you can see the aurora.
Aurora
It's
Borealis.
supposed to be super
At this
pretty.
time of year, this
Even
part of the
prettier than
country.
moon tonight.
I'd love to see it though.
Perrie and I promised each other.
I'm sure they're
that
gonna make it
once
look
we're
really
older,
pretty once we actually
we're
get to
gonna
go
see
there.
it together. But I can't find her. I'm worried she's also been... No, that wouldn't happen to her. She's special. Mother likes her a lot.
Interesting that Clervy
We should really
specifically
go
is
talk
calling
to
the Knave
Mother,
mother
But we just fought.
and not father.
She doesn't want to see me. And I'm
Either
too
there was a
scared to
different
face her.
Knave prior to
What should I do?
Arlecchino, or the title changed. Hi Dev, how's it going? Sometimes Clervy seems to come back to herself. She gives a weak smile and then, yeah, she
Paimon really
goes.
doesn't understand what's going on with her. Well, let's head back. We've got an early morning tomorrow.
Slap was loud. Damn. Well, I hope you're happy with it then.
All right, looks like we're all here. Let's go ahead with the plan.
I have a question.
Oh? What is it?
Have the Knave and the Doctor ever worked together?
What makes you ask that?
Well, we kind of ran into That's what she told us.
Yes, Spinner. Everyone is deaf now. Very fun. In case anyone is wondering, right? I have my audio levels. Everything. Like, normally I look for the fact that it's, like, going into the yellow. Like, I try to see that the audio levels go somewhere into the yellow. So it's a nice medium, because in the green it still seems a bit quiet. But I never wanted to go into the red. The scream is the one thing that surpasses the yellow and goes into the red in terms of audio levels. So, fun.
We met the doctor back in Sumeru. He's super dangerous. And he's done all sorts of bad things.
It's possible that Father and the Doctor have had certain dealings, but I don't think Father would work with him.
Why not?
Same side, so there's not a lot of trust between them.
All right, why do people
Doesn't
like the
exactly set
scream so
stage
much
for a
today?
Successful partnership. I did hear, though, that when Father first became a Harbinger, the Doctor offered to work with the House of the Hearth. Father rejected most of his proposals, except for one. It had to do with some sort of secret experiment.
So there was a collaboration
Secret
between the
experiment?
two.
Could that be what Clairvy was talking about?
I don't think so.
I don't know any details about the experiment itself, but I do know it's an entirely independent operation. The Doctor only proposed a direction for the research. That was the extent of his involvement. I still don't think that counts as working together. The details of the experiment are confidential, but
The
complete
Doctor
records
is still
are
the
kept on all
Doctor, which
participants.
is, you know, not
That
good.
doesn't seem to be the case with the situation Clairvy referred to. I know you don't agree with some of the Fatui's methods, and I'm not asking you to. But I am asking you to trust us on this. The House of the Hearth has its own principles. There are certain lines
Look
we're
at them
not
all
willing to
standing in the
cross.
exact same pose.
Alright, that's good to hear at least.
All of them are swearing
Clairvy seems to think the
that
Knave and the
everything's
Doctor
fine.
worked together to do something
So
horrible.
to tore the fuck away
If that
from
turned
me.
out to be true, Paimon doesn't know how
I
he
hope
would
so.
even face you guys. It's just that it doesn't seem like Clairvy is lying either.
So what do we do
The
then?
easiest thing to do would be just ask the Knave directly, but Paimon doesn't think she'd tell us.
Let's focus on the plan for now.
Father didn't come back last night. She's probably still near the shore. We'll be counting on you to distract her.
Again?
Lynette, you're with me.
We just
Fremine,
distracted
you know
her
what to do.
yesterday.
Be on your guard, everyone. All right, let's get to it.
I don't know. I don't know if we keep distracting her over and over again. I don't know. I don't know how this would go. Eventually, I'm sure she'll catch on if she hasn't caught on already. Which she might have. Because she's not exactly stupid. And Paimon wasn't exactly being subtle. Yeah, sure enough, she's still here. Hi. For children under the age of 5? Yes.
Ah, it's you two again. I must say, you look a bit pale.
Joking
Did you
has
have
it, I
trouble
guess.
sleeping last night?
A little.
Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve yourself of such troubles. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time to rack your brain for a topic to discuss before I ask any questions? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
I mean, told you she's not stupid exactly. And Paimon wasn't being subtle exactly. Yeah. I mean, not a big surprise that she caught on, just interesting that she's just giving it away. Like, yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah, I know you're distracting me.
Us? Distract you? A good one. But no, we were just here for a chat.
Sure, Paimon.
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. If you don't have any other plans, why don't you accompany me somewhere? Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
How kind of you.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
Okay, so can we keep distracting you? Apparently we can. So you know everything then.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. I think I'll let them have at it for a little longer. I can be very patient. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia.
Alright. The distraction is going
Good
smoothly.
things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your friends' sakes.
Is that a threat?
What should we do?
Is that a threat?
She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us just now.
We should release the pigeon that Linny gave us. She knows. But we'll keep distracting.
Oh, good idea. Hopefully he sees it in time. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the Knave was saying just now, it sure didn't seem like it'd be anything good.
Really don't have any other options.
Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting. It seems like Linny and the others are on thin ice, so let's do our best to not get them in any more trouble.
Yes, the best way to not get them in trouble is to beat up their father. Right? Right? Well, we're here.
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, we might as well enjoy some pleasant conversation while we wait. I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is necessary for a child's development.
You're not planning on doing anything to them, are you?
I assume you're referring to Linny, Lynette, and Fremine.
Perhaps.
Although there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. It appears quite a few people have been acting out lately.
So she will need to set an example,
No matter.
huh?
I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no exceptions.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one.
Okay, let's beat her up.
Everyone is
Kick her ass,
responsible for
absolutely.
their own actions.
Not for the attempting to compete with Hu Tao, though.
Don't you care about them at all?
You know what? No,
They
let's make
really
that part of it.
respect you. They even call
Let's
you
make that
father.
part
You
of
must
it.
feel something for them.
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them.
Yay, 3 playable characters die today. Totally. They'll totally die, right? They're totally gonna kill off playable characters in the story. To kill our friends. And her children, yes. There's really no other way to solve the issue.
I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives.
Oh.
As for Filial, Nentoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
Well, at least those 3 are living. You know what? Never mind. I don't think we have to fight anymore.
Awful.
Ah, you seem concerned. Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Claire V in the meantime,
We know your
all
secrets, but
evidence of
get
their
stabbed
wrongdoing will be
immediately.
lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And the punishment will be severe.
Alright, that's good. It's a deal then. It's a deal.
Of
Absolutely.
course. Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. Do try and keep better track of it next time. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it. Permanently.
Wow, even that backup strat didn't work. Not even the backup strat worked.
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. Now, for the matter at hand. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will always be time later to run off and tell Linny what you've learned. Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped things up just in time.
Alright, who are we meeting? Please don't be the doctor, please don't be the doctor, please don't be the doctor. Then again, why would we meet the doctor at the Palais Memoria? That doesn't make sense. Maybe... No, Farina wouldn't be here anymore either. So that means it could only be the Udex of Fontaine himself. Right? I'm right, aren't I? Obviously I'm right. Who else would we meet here?
It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of admiration.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be
Hello,
afforded the
Neuvillette.
proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well. If I may inquire as to the purpose of your visit.
I'm quite curious
I'll
myself.
be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Neuvillette.
And that way I don't get to see it. Well, and that is that. We're just gonna sit down and let you read. It's quiet. Too quiet.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
Oh?
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different
So you're
destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
What I'm getting out of this is that she's saying that even the ones who are worthless to you because they're destined to die because they did something wrong should at least be used for something, like experiments. Is that what I'm getting out of this? Or they may not reach the ocean, but at least they serve some other purpose.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Kind of. I don't know if my interpretation of it was correct. I can only hope it's not.
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
Oh boy.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine.
Well, that's good.
And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe? Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing.
Yeah,
Of course,
how could
if
it
you
be?
accept my proposal, Monsieur
Totally.
Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy.
Wow, how
I do
kind.
hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
Indeed. I trust you would not
I
overlook
see.
your commitment in the meantime.
I see. It is time. Well, you're gonna have to give me 1 second and you're gonna get exactly what you want.
Okay, I guess that should do the trick. Well, I guess the hand will be streaming now. Hang on, give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so, let's try getting back to the game. And yeah, we'll be streaming like this now because Dev was so kind to request it. Is the hand erect or is the code just tiny? We might never know. Why not both? Why not both?
All right, Traveler Paimon. Time to go.
Well then, I see. Dev, you've sure been collecting a few points, huh? I hope you're proud of your spendings of your points. Spinny, meanwhile, seems to just enjoy the giant hand that's covering chat.
What exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of water, and then some kind of irrigation scheme.
Let's face it, she just doesn't want us to know what it's about.
I would imagine there might be more pressing concerns at the moment.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay.
I mean, one can assume it's going okay. So if a lot more of you were screaming...
Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your tiki cap on, don't you, Traveler?
I do. The Knave may seem relaxed, but she didn't seem to be joking earlier when she said those who betray the organization must pay with their lives. I think she's serious about punishing those kids. Well, we can only hope that they manage to resolve everything before then. I want to see you just seeing something weird or interesting in the game. Well, that's an interesting thing you want to see. How should we stop her? No, there must be something else we should figure out first. While we were talking from Palais Memoria, she mentioned Clervy's name. Does that mean she knew where Clervy was this entire time? Maybe she even anticipated how Linny and the others were going to act. Interesting thing to think about. And then we died.
Oh, shoot. Are you alright?
And who might you
Oh,
be?
jeez, I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these papers, I wasn't looking where I was going.
Hang on a second. That's Scar. I mean, of course we weren't knocked over, but, that scar right there is definitely... Isn't that reminding you of a certain person who got supposedly executed? Maybe, and this is just a big maybe, maybe the research and everything was about how to erase people's minds completely and basically reset them as a person. That way they could, you know, leave the organization without getting executed. They'd just, you know, start over fresh. And they're just, you know, saying it's executions. I mean, that might just be copium, but maybe Father isn't that bad after all? Who knows? Anyway, my bad.
Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take this paper. On the house.
On the house? On the house of the... He's kind of familiar for some reason. Again, the executions. As I said.
Oh, you don't have to give
on the
us
house
anything.
of the Hearth. Also, hi Knave, by the way, and thanks for the giant head pad. Honestly, it's... I don't think anyone will ever get tired of the giant head pad. And you know what? That's totally understandable. Who would get tired of that?
Please, I want to. It's not like I'm short on supply. All the extras will be useless come tomorrow anyway. It's my fault.
Yeah, it's
really.
3 times smaller. I mean,
was just trying to
am
bring home
definitely
some extra
smaller.
mora for the family,
so,
but
you know.
I bit off more than I can chew.
But just happy
I
to
haven't
see
had
you.
many
Yes,
takers
that,
today,
that
so
is,
I'm still
yes.
swimming in papers.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on accident. I should probably get going, actually, so...
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with mora, it's just... I don't have any on me at the moment.
I'll take 3 papers. Here, your payment.
Well then, look at that.
Thank you for your patronage.
She definitely
May the
recognized him
Archons
as
bless
well,
you with
right?
good fortune.
I feel like that's pretty
If
much
only
obvious.
I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory though, right? I'm getting married soon, so sometimes it's hard to not get ahead of myself. Anyway, I should head out. Goodbye!
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson.
She definitely
We even acquired
recognized
some
him,
light
right?
reading to
There's no
enjoy
way she
along the
didn't.
way.
Actually, why don't we stick around for a little longer? Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
You can just tell her that you want to keep distracting her for longer. She already knows. Looks like Paimon's trying to buy us more time. If we head back now, I doubt Linny and the others will have made any progress. What should we do?
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your favor. I'm sorry to ruin your fantasy, but your efforts are meaningless.
Well, that's what you think.
That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. I just have one condition. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Clairvy, are you not? And my relationship to her.
Wait.
Was that really necessary,
Why are
Nev?
you being so generous all of a sudden?
Was that really
You're not gonna ask us
necessary?
to do something bad, are you?
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the
I guess it
talent
was.
for bad things.
Then what can you possibly...
Can we just...
The most important consideration
Can we
in
just
a
appreciate the
negotiation
game now?
is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far.
Your condition, let's hear it. plot twist that's her actual daughter? I mean, imagine. Imagine. It could be, but I don't know.
Wonderful. Here it is. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay. Sounds normal enough. But what do you mean, when the time comes? When is that supposed to be?
Probably pretty
To
soon.
decide.
We accept your condition.
Then we have a deal. Follow me.
And, I mean, she just asked us to make the choice we deem is most appropriate, so that choice might be whatever, right? No guarantee that that choice will line up with what she wants. Also, man, we're really going somewhere where there isn't a teleport point nearby, huh? Well, I mean, it's fine. I guess I can walk every once in a while. It's just something I don't do a lot anymore in this game. Alright. So what do we do now?
What is this place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story I'm about to tell you. It was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
She isn't her actual daughter then, but that just confirms everything. That just confirms that, yeah, no, she does kill people. Unless she was her mother and she means it in a, you know, she killed Clairvy literally and she killed her mother figuratively. Right? Maybe she was her actual mother and then she's like, your mother, like, dies here because I am now a Harbinger. I am the father. That might be what happened. In which case, wow, that's a story.
Patience.
Why?
Now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from the beginning. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the Knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control.
All right.
She was Clairvy's
so that's
mother
that.
by blood, but she
that's
was
what I
also
said earlier.
the mother to all the children in the house.
Right, I said earlier that mother might have been the previous Knave. I'm pretty sure I said that. The second she brought up the mother, I talked about how that's weird because, you know, the Knave currently is called father. And that makes sense because I said maybe that was the previous one. I was right. My theory was correct. Throw a bunch of theories and one of them has to stick.
Clairvy was happy here. For a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight. force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who
She did
proved
say that
themselves most worthy
earlier
of
whoever
inheriting her
lost in a
title.
duel would lose everything.
It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So can we assume that you're
So those
a
were
better
the
leader
experiments
of the
Claire was
family?
talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Despite being
I don't
Clairvy's
think
mother,
so.
Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Perrie.
So that's the Perrie she was talking about, right?
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit.
Well, look
Perrie,
who that
on the other
person
hand, was rather
is.
cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade.
Look who her
It was also
friend
this
is.
cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against
Who
it.
could it be?
At least
I
at
don't
first.
know.
While Clairvy longed for freedom, Perrie was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Perrie that she hoped to create a real family,
Is that a character
where no
from
one
Blue
would be
Archive?
killed or sacrificed. There may have
that
been a certain
so?
naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Perrie would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no. What happened?
Well,
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Perrie weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to
Interesting.
escape still seemed as
interesting. As a
hopeless
phantom,
ever.
she's still in that child
It was
form.
during this time
But
that Perrie
even though she
suggested
actually
a
grew
new
older,
plan.
that is
If escaping was out of the question,
you'd think she would have
why
died as a
not take
child,
down the very
considering that
person
her
sitting
phantom
on
is still a
top of
child.
this throne of lies? Mother herself. Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of success. Clairvy never gave another reason, but Perrie could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross.
So,
If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained.
well, I mean, you could still just have killed the mother and then she would still be alive. Unless she tried to stop you from doing so. Death, I guess.
Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Perrie, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle, but ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Perrie end her life. From that moment on, Perrie's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away,
Yeah, I see the fingers.
there she stood, the sole
And the way
victor
they end.
in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it was?
Killing the person at the very top?
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Just kill her and take her place.
Correct. This is the place
And
where
take her
Perrie
place.
killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is
And take
also
her
the place where
place.
she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Perrie won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Arlecchino.
So the Perrie Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Perrie. Arlecchino is just a name you got later.
This was your story just as much as Clairvy's.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now does bring back memories. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father. And that is where the story ends.
So that also explains where the title of father came from.
Any more questions?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. The Clairvy we met, though, who is she exactly?
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met... Was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16
We're definitely getting some
years
interesting
old.
lore
But
here.
what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
Well, this isn't the first time I've heard, you know, a game explain that, hey, losing your memories is like losing yourself, because memories are what form you as a person. I mean, Danganronpa 2, for example, to bring it back to one of my favorite franchises, also dealt in that topic for a little bit. Specifically, Mikan talked about it, that losing your memory is like losing yourself.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of her own past.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long time.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives.
So why would she be a problem?
Other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone.
I mean,
who
that
will
is a
listen.
problem, but you could just
Shadows don't
tell
have the
everyone about
capacity
that.
to learn or grow.
You could just tell
Any
everyone he's
new
talking about the
information they
previous
encounter
Knave.
is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight, they failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind this time.
Do we have to, though? I feel like that is...
I can understand why you might want her gun, but isn't there another way?
I mean, just tell everyone.
So
Why
if
can't you
she's
just
trapped
tell
in her
everyone?
6-year-old self, she's still your friend. At least talk to her first.
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nentoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
I guess that means it's time to fight now. Also,
is this really what you want to do?
Main character
Whatever could
voice
you
line?
mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father,
You know, I'm
there
always
are two
happy to
things
have
that
main
must be
character voice
avoided
lines.
at
I
all
feel like...
costs. Anger and sorrow.
Can we just talk about this for a second? I feel like in Fontaine, the main character has had... I feel like in Fontaine alone, the main character has had more voice lines than in all the other nations of the game combined. Am I wrong? I feel like that's the case, right? I wonder if they're actually going to increase the number of voice lines they give the main character now.
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, yeah, I know you've said that before, Spinner.
Here they are, Father.
You gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for me.
Lenny!
And Clary's here too. In the shadow, because she can't step into the sun. Also, I just realized there's a good reason why there's no teleport point here. There's about to be a teleport point here, because this is where the new weekly boss is gonna be. Clary?
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more time. But I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you... Perrie?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perrie!
And now you're gonna die.
Stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first I believe certain scores need settling.
Cutscene? Of course it's cutscene time.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that, you must be punished. Overall,
I feel
however,
like
I
it's about
suppose
to be
your wrongdoing
cutscene
is
time,
hardly the most
maybe?
egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, the more pressing concerns are the traitors among us.
By traitors? Do you mean us?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to...
And he never got to finish his sentence before he died.
Why don't you share what you heard?
And yes, we do have the Amogus.
Secret midnight meeting number 3. Participants: Filial, Nantoi, Sato, Toddy. Nantoi clearly said, "If only Father wasn't the one who took us in." Sato added, "I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person." Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
Oh, yeah.
I did not!
They're all gonna die.
You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us.
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about
I mean, they
Claire.
are crazies,
You
it's
were
true.
using all those things Claire brought up as an excuse to question Father. We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
You little... You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh?
Well,
And
you betrayed the
Sheplo,
family, I guess.
Have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on, let's hear it then. What's your reason for all this?
Just upholding the rules, I guess.
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why? Why have you backed us into a corner?
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filial.
Yeah, I mean...
A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget.
Yeah.
That's why the House of the Hearth
Are we gonna
not
get to see
tolerate
the
any form
execution?
of betrayal.
Probably.
Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it? Because we were all in one place.
Arlecchino's
You've had this
execution,
planned
that is.
all
Of course,
along.
of course. They're totally gonna execute a playable
Nantoi,
character. Totally.
I'm sorry. I owe you both my life. I owe Claire too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't be standing here today. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness.
I mean,
Even
we'll
if it
kick her
cost me
butt, but
my
we also
life.
kicked Tartaglia's butt, and
But-
he survived. So, you know.
Rules are rules. I'm sorry. My hands are tied.
Why? Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake.
If Tartaglia get better,
And we should
I
own up
assume
to it.
so will Father.
We broke the rules. Plain and simple. And now we have to face the consequences. I'm sorry, Chapleau. Fultz. I'm sorry, Father. We accept our punishment.
Chapleau, according to the rules of the House of the Hearth, how should these traitors be punished?
All those who betray the house pay with their lives.
Well then.
And so it shall be.
They pay by having to use their lives for the House of the Hearth. For the rest of eternity.
Father, please wait!
Right? Totally not an
Something you want
execution.
to say, Linny?
Please reconsider, Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, But doing so will only bring us further away from being a real family than we've ever been.
I mean, again,
So
you could
please,
interpret
Father,
the rules differently. If it's
please
paying with their lives, it might be I
reconsider.
pay by, you know, using my life to,
Father,
for the sake of the
please.
family, right? That would be paying with your life.
Linny, you...
I also agree with Linny.
An order once given cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this a different way. Draw your weapons.
Oh, this is the moment where
and
I have to
face
choose.
me.
I
Oh,
will be the one
weapons?
to fight her.
Father, are you referring to a duel?
Precisely. The rules of the house will
Let's
not
kill
be
her.
altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall offer a concession.
Wait. Beat Father in a duel?
That's what I'm here for.
Impossible. Father is way too strong, even for Linny.
Oh? Well, the squad's gonna step up. Yep, we get the squad.
Did you hear that, Traveler? Linny and the others have to duel the Knave. What should we do? Can they really win something like that?
This is where we make our
If they
choice.
lose, those people from the house are really going to be executed.
Remember, we made a
Hey,
deal.
are you listening?
Is executing them really what she wants?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Anger makes you impulsive.
Triple trial
Sorrow
character?
causes
Who
you
knows?
to waver.
So 7 characters in one team. Imagine though, imagine. Back then she never actually answered my question. But that makes the answer pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Oh. Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
There's no way the Knave will lose on purpose. Although...
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate.
And when the
When the
guest
time
joins
comes,
in on the fight...
make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Yep, this is where we lend our help.
What's wrong? Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
I'd like to see for myself what the 4th of the Fatui Harbingers can do.
You're asking to join the duel against the Knave?
Yeah, duh. If that's okay.
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life.
Alright, I guess this is happening now. Straight into the fight. The dull blade is too strong. Okay, we're straight... Oh my god, she uses a scythe. Okay, she uses a scythe. Well, good to know. And we don't get any child character.
Now's our chance!
With these rising flames,
She's weak. Well, the thing is, I'm kind of, you know, invulnerable. That's probably a big factor in this.
Over here.
And she probably is also a multi-phase fight. You know, all the weekly bosses are multi-phase fights.
destruction shall rise. The countdown has begun. Have a taste of purgatory.
Oh, hey, look, she's a one-winged angel. Set her off.
Get in gear! Gather!
Spare your energy.
Wait.
Running is a little loose.
Where'd you go? Come back.
Oh, brilliant!
I will have order.
Now's our chance. Closer now.
Denise. Also, hi Firma. How's it going? I am gonna win. Oh wow, you can even stun her.
Father's even stronger than I expected.
Stronger than expected? Really? You expected her to be stronger than... You expected her to be even weaker than this?
No rest for the...
Time to shine!
Try to pace yourself.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
That solo also with the tank. I mean, is that really? I mean, I guess that's true, but that just means that tanks are just the most viable build. Phase 2? I think it's time for phase 2. Well then, we're gonna die. Maybe.
Watch out for Father's movements.
Okay, wow.
My blade is all that remains.
Strong attack you got there.
Dumpty Dumpty go! La la la!
Midnight Phantom.
Now's our chance.
Over here!
What? The?
Oh, brilliant! Blazing delight!
Now she's ultra weak. Well, I guess now she went more onto the offensive side and her defense went down a bit more, I suppose.
Watch out for Father's movements. Look out! Sundown is only the beginning.
Well, I got an achievement, which is nice. And I stunned her again, which is nice.
I summon thee!
As a weakest child, ironic
Now's our chance.
that some of the Fatui are just so incredibly weak compared to other weekly bosses. And again with the cutscenes just being genuinely amazing.
You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
No! I'm sorry, Father!
And then everybody died. The end.
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
And we're still moving around with our dull blade! Well, she definitely could have killed us there.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
Yep, there are definitely more OP in a cutscene.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Well, we're dying. Never mind.
Still, not strong enough to beat me.
Ether, you're pathetic. Use a better weapon. Yeah, and Protects are less OP apparently.
I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
So does that mean you'll let
are
them
you all right?
live?
Lenny. Given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, I'm prepared to change the method of execution. Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for, but I've kept them super safe. I didn't lose a single
Well, it was a strong power boost we
Wonderful.
got, but it looked amazing,
Then,
so I'll
in
take
just
it.
a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person and preserved. Once ingested,
Killable in the
searing
boss fight,
pain
however,
will
you
spread
shoot it
across
twice,
every inch
and
of
she
your
died.
body. No harm will
Well,
come to
that's
you
fair.
physically, but your memories will be burned away. If you can withstand the pain.
I told
When
you!
awake,
I told you!
You'll have
I
forgotten
told you they just erase
everything you know
memories!
about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization. In other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew up in the house.
I literally
give
told
you
you
a
after we
new
saw that one guy with the scar that she just erases minds. So that means the young man that I thought looked familiar, the one selling newspapers outside the Palais Memoria, he must have been the same horror we saw on the list of executions. He wasn't killed at all.
Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
Now, if my understanding of the Knave is right, she really thinks of that as killing him. The horror that lived in the House of the Hearth is dead. The one that remains is simply a normal person living out his life with his beloved. Even so, it's much better than actually ending their lives.
So, you're just letting us go, Father?
Well, I mean, technically it is still
You
killing this
misunderstand.
version of them.
Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I won't have to live in fear anymore. I'm sorry.
So
I
much
let you
for
down.
that. Not living in fear, I live in constant fear of those annoying screams.
Don't cry, Filial. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions.
Of course. I'll remember.
Dry your tears, and go pursue the life you really want.
Yes,
Thank you, Spinne.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring Lenny and the others as well. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house. I hope you have bright futures ahead of you.
Well, imagine that, giving them the choice whether or not to take the flames. That is interesting.
Father.
That is very interesting.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Lenny. I'll help you walk back.
Thank you.
And what about you? Are you gonna step into the light finally? Or nah? Alright, nope, we're just waiting for nighttime.
Can we talk now? I've been waiting for a super long time. You really are Perrie, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up? Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident? Or am I dreaming? What a long dream.
No, see, the thing is,
Neither.
you died.
You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless.
I would say she's probably had enough lies. Yeah, that is. Yep, no, that's true.
Oh. Okay then.
She did.
Huh?
She dead.
That's it? You accepted it just like that?
Yep. If that's what Perrie says happened, then I believe her. Perrie wouldn't lie to me. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a Harbinger now, Perrie, that means Mother is gone, isn't she?
Yep, and she's the one who killed her. Isn't that
I know what
amazing?
happened to her. And to me.
She's also the one who killed
never
you.
Stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later
And that
on,
didn't really
you
work
tried to
out.
run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time. That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised.
Yep, and guess
But
who that
you
was?
called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, "For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die."
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down.
Yep, and then so you did die.
I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
I mean, she
Is
did.
that so?
she killed the mother, so,
Even now,
you
I'm
know.
not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you are trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
Which, I mean,
That's
it's fair.
more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was fighting for. You know, Perrie, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father, too. I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Have you ever considered, you know, looking around?
Well, it just so happens
mean,
that
just,
our
you
dear
know.
guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the outside world is like.
Really?
Also great, shoving all the responsibilities onto me. I guess that's fair.
All over the place. We got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears off for 3 days straight.
Alright. Which nation should we talk about? What an interesting question. Do we talk about all of them? In that case, we should go in order, right? Talk about Zhong. Alright, fine. You're absolutely right. Let's go.
Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perrie, and one for Mother.
What, you mean the one who's already
It's
dead?
just too bad Perrie doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I'd just have to keep them all for me then. I could wear a different one every day.
I'm sure you could. Alright, I guess we'll talk about all of them. Let's talk about the land of Animo, the nation of freedom.
You know, I used to dream of being a bard. Playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom. Even if there was no one there to listen, I would have continued to sing no matter what.
What's its new item for its word? Land of Electro, the nation of eternity.
Those yokai you mentioned, what do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary face. Are there any yokai like that?
Well, there are Oni.
Sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look.
Waiting for the Netland Archon to drop, so someone draws Hu Tao in the nation Archon's outfit. I mean, fair, I guess. Let's talk about land of Dendro, the nation of wisdom.
I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. Things that have nothing to do with studying. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to fear for your life actually sounds pretty great.
Tell me all about the various nations you visited. Eventually, the conversation returns to Fontaine, the nation she once called home.
The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial at the Opera Epicles.
And we defended them.
That must have been hard for all of you. What happened next?
Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly. All thanks to Detective Paimon, of course.
Of course you have that outfit on hand.
Come on,
Why wouldn't you have it? Sure you have it.
Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Clary's listening really intently to Paimon's story about our time in Fontaine. She seems really happy, like all her troubles have been forgotten. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been able to truly relax, but I'm not sure how long this moment can last.
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time.
As time passes, she'll probably forget everything we've told her and go back to being that scared little girl who could only hide in the shadows. I was so busy thinking I almost didn't notice the sun has risen. She's gonna be standing in the sunlight. She'll get her wish. And we'll get him with a cutscene, right?
Clairvy,
she's gonna die.
You worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
And she in the light.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well?
2 cutscenes and 1 story quest? No, this is the 1 cutscene. The others were part of the boss fight. That doesn't count.
I almost forgot. There's no getting water for me.
Boss fight doesn't count, but still.
Seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Perrie.
You know, at least she gets to see the sun and die in
Take care of
peace.
yourself. Goodbye.
We'll take that.
May we meet again someday.
And I guess that concludes this story.
She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures.
Well, can't wait to see it myself.
But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
Lily, why are you back? What is it with Fatui and always running back?
Hey,
even when they should be resting.
What is he doing back here? Let's go check it out.
Father, the bottled flames have been administered. Filio and the others have left the house.
And you? What have you decided?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But we never wanted to leave the house. It's the only home we've ever known. Lynette and Fremine feel the same way.
Of course they're not resetting their minds.
Back at the Hotel Bouffe d'été. But I decided to come back and tell you where we stood.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next king of the house. Yet you seem to have different ideas. I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading this organization is a heavy responsibility, one not so easily carried by someone forced onto the throne.
I'm sure he'd do just fine.
Never understood what you saw in me. What made you believe I was deserving of that throne?
You're brave, talented, and, most importantly, you cherish your family. You would do anything to protect them, even if it costs you your life.
So in other words, that duel was like the final confirmation once again.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back down.
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero. Father is the real hero.
And you're gonna be the next
Had
father
gone
at
all
some
out during
point.
the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. She must have had it all planned from the beginning, from the very moment she suggested a duel. I'm not deserving of that title. I'm not strong enough or smart enough.
Well, then you gotta
You're
train
wrong.
and study.
In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction and the necessary strength to act on it. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength. For someone of your talent, though, that's something that will come with time. Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in
If there wasn't a cutscene, we would have kicked their
Father.
ass so hard.
No
That
one
is
knows
true.
what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization requires the strength of will to face whatever comes. Caution will only hold you back. If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, there was still a considerable gap between our abilities. Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father. Thank you.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then can a family continue to flourish. The road ahead is not an easy one, so I'll ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to stay?
And then he says
You've done
no.
so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Plus, with Project Stuja at hand, there are many dangers ahead, and I, for one, don't intend to back down. Protecting my family at all costs. That's my conviction.
Mind
Then
telling
you're
me more
welcome to
about that
stay.
project now?
As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm
Just
prepared
play the
to teach
cutscene
them
card,
a
I know,
lesson.
right?
Having
It's
members
easy.
who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment.
Well, I guess that's
no matter how
kind,
arduous
at
the
least.
journey ahead, I hope we both reach our desired destination.
Wait until 2 days later. Actually, before I do that, though, you can already tell what I'm about to do again, right?
That throw was entirely unnecessary. Wait. Maybe a bit further down. Get that. Get that off me. That was the point. Of course it was. Thanks for the head pats, though. I guess I need to go a bit lower still. There, I think now I'm back in a good position. Alright. So let's wait until 2 days later.
Boats.
Boats! Sorry for interrupting you there, Zhongli. Boats. Boats indeed. Da-da-da. Boats, Zhongli. Do you like boats?
Are made for transferring commodities back in.
Didn't Linny say that Lynette and Fremine were recovering at the Hotel Bouffe d'été? Oh, Paimon wonders how they're doing. Maybe we should go check on them.
We probably should. Let's head over there right away. Hello! And then I killed them.
Lynette? Fremine? How are you feeling?
Much better.
Also, now we have our second weekly boss in this nation, which means now we're
What
good to
about
move
you?
on to the next nation.
Are you feeling alright?
I mean, we all knew, right? They couldn't have added Nathlon before adding a second weekly boss to Fontaine. We all knew it was necessary. Each nation needs 2 weekly bosses, not 1, 2. Alright, I'm right as rain.
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden for 2 days. I couldn't even turn over. Oh, and I wanted to ask, is Clairvy gone?
Yep, she moved on.
Many
She
and
gone,
the other
gone.
members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
We bid her farewell under a blanket of sunlight.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crusabina and Clairvy. Actually, I've met Crusabina before.
Have you? Have you now? Intriguing.
Wait, what? You've met the former Knave?
Crusabina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Hearth.
Interesting.
Crusabina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. While she was alive, the atmosphere in the house was suffocating.
So you
When I
witnessed
joined,
Father's
though,
rise to
the
power.
experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Crusabina never talked about the past with us newcomers. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crusabina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames.
So that's why there were no
along with the
records.
painful memories they represented.
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crusabina or Clairvy.
It really seems like something she was planning to keep to herself.
Yeah, she probably figured it'd be best to leave the past in the past.
Did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it. The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past, it has nothing to do with who we are now. And that's what Father told us in the end.
But I
Alright.
still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crusabina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been. The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that she valued them in any way, even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit.
Damn.
If Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth, I probably would have already...
Don't think about that.
Father rarely
Be
brings
positive,
up the fact that
you
she
bitch.
saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what ties us together. But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. Because this is our home. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may even choose to leave. But as long as Father is here, we will always have a home.
Whether the path before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow, we'll follow Father wherever she chooses to go. So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis. Without your help, we could have lost a lot more along the way.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Really now. I mean, yeah, true, we didn't really do anything. It was a super easy fight. I don't know what everyone's talking about. Just invite us back as guests and we'll call it even.
Of course. You're welcome anytime.
Are Filio and Nantoy okay?
I actually saw them at a cafe this morning. They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking about one of the operas that started running recently.
Alright, so they seem to be doing fine then.
Happy. If I had to take a guess, I would say they finally found the kind of life they always wished for.
True cat girl, yes. And the hearth flame goes out! It is done. By the way, that also means I can claim this. I'll claim this right now, and then we'll check out the new area real quick before we wrap up for the day. I do want to have a look at the new area after all.
Thank you
Would be a shame if I didn't have a look.
Add Astro.
Alright. So as you can see, there's already a teleport point here. Let's have a look. Yeah, aka Risk of Rain 2, whatever you say. There's the statue. Imagine having a teleport point this close to another teleport point. I was gonna say, I wonder if this is part of Fontaine or part of, Liyue, but according to the birds and everything, I feel like this is more part of Fontaine still, even though it is technically outside of the waterfall area. Truly a waste of teleport points, indeed. It is as you have guessed. It's a very small island. I assume, or is this a region that's like in between nations? Like, does this area not belong to any nation specifically? There's more below water, you know, that makes sense. I feel like this might be one of those areas like international waters, as they say. Because it's definitely outside of the general area of Fontaine. And it feels like it should be outside of the Liyue area as well. Could be part of Sumeru, but I don't think so. I feel like we are in international waters here. But I mean, if it had to be part of a nation, it would be Fontaine, because look at the statue. According to the statue, it's part of Fontaine, even though it's technically it looks like it's outside of the border. Bunch of people. Oh no, I walked into a thingy. I guess I'll just let this play out real quick and then I'll dive. I just walked into this. Oh right, I'm still on autoplay. Hold everything on board, plus ourselves. I don't think the boat can hold that much weight. I don't give a shit about your weight. I wanted to explore right now. No, can we? If you capture those golems? Which golems? Might it be a new enemy type, perhaps? Stop yapping and start moving. If the Dark Lord's lackeys catch up, we're all done for. Who might be the Dark Lord? Putting on some kind of show? Perhaps. Probably not, though. There's people over there. I'm gonna ask them. The big one and the tiny thing. Yes, that is her name, the tiny thing. Can't leave any witnesses. What are you saying? Talk to them first. But let me talk to them when I want to talk to them. Don't force me to talk to them right now. No! Foreigners. And here I thought you were minions of the Dark Lord Remus. And it's Paimon, we're travelers. Who's the Dark Lord Remus? Yes. Finished playing his part already? Dark Lord is. Alright, I get it. Time for me to educate you, oh ignorant outlanders. Damn. So you know, the peaceful town in those days was not yet named Petrior. Fontainians lived here in peace and safety until the golem armies of the Dark Lord Remus came. He was an awful tyrant. One who claimed to be the ruler of all waters. His forces had already obliterated countless towns and cities before arriving at ours. He took our lands, polluted the sources of pure water, and even tried to use music to tempt us. They raised high bell towers and fortresses, and the Dark Lord fell. Melody enslaved our kin. But we, Fontainians free, rejected his rule. Thus did I and the warriors under my command march to war all across the land. Okay. Big story. Nice world building, very detailed. And then I know what happened. To defeat the Dark Lord. Dark Lord's golems are each mighty beyond measure. How could we match? Still, we had the aid of the quick-witted this time. The ruler of all waters. Ruler of all waters? I don't know about that. Infiltrated the Dark Lord's He reclaimed the treasures, he and his minions. Yep. Oh, doing again. Oh yeah, disrupting the special military maneuvers being conducted by the Dark Lord's legions. Totally brilliant plan. And you're the protagonist of your play, yet you aren't on the up and up. When does this Dark Lord take the stage? Still lying treasure if he showed up. We'd all have turned into golems already, just like Esproli was. It's the pitiful now, more like. Totally helped you and you guys just left him behind and ran away. Are you sure you guys aren't the baddies? Baddies don't get to be the protagonists. What do you mean protagonists take the stage? Oh, from what I'm studying, it's like you really are his minions, just dressed up as foreigners. Layering about performances and plays. As I'm putting on a performance? I guess not. Fess up, unless we try first. Let's get him, boys. And that is my cue to leave. Yep. Now I can explore. Alright, let's try to dive. If I can. Because technically, again, we are outside of the Fontaine area. Yep. Fool that we are, we cannot dive. Told you this is outside of the Fontaine area. You can only dive inside the area up here, where the water is light blue. Only in those areas can you dive, not here. Unless it's something you have to unlock. Maybe there is some spot where I can dive. It might have something to do with the world quest that I just abandoned. There's also some kind of lake up here. Maybe that lake will have something to do with it. This area. This might be what I need. This might be the underwater area. This looks like a place I can dive. But it's not. But you can clearly see you should be able to dive here. I guess that's something I unlock later. And by later, I mean, in that case, not on stream. Tragic, I know. Well, look in the events tab. Yes, yes, I could. Give me a second. I'll just unlock this room. There, I know. No, wait, this. Yes. Yes. New area unlocked, but I'm pretty sure... Again, that requires me to do the world quest, and I don't do that. Again, Spinne, as I said, I don't have the ability to dive here yet. I assume I unlocked that through a world quest, and I don't do those on stream. As I was saying, even before you told me to check the event tab, I told you that is not what we do here. 3 times now, and yet you still told me to check the event tab. Alright, let me just claim my stuff in here. New battle pass, which means more new work. Wanted you to see it? Assuming I didn't already look at the events tab. If I hadn't looked, by the way, there was no exclamation mark up here, so you could have probably figured that I already saw it. Fool that you are. Fool! Alrighty then. Let me grab the achievements that I unlocked real quick. Yoink. And... a sip of blood. Unleash 4 Scarlet Night Tides in a single battle against the Knave. I guess I'm just that good. What is that hard? Probably not a hard achievement, but okay, sure. Alright. Then let me quickly find someone to raid before everyone leaves, because I know how this goes. I know people will leave in a second. And I would really appreciate it if some people, if you were to decide to stick around for the raid. Part of me wants to raid Tormuse, but I'm not doing it because I would get spoiled. Because Tormuse is doing basically developer's commentary on his newest mod of DDLC. And as much as part of me really wants to go and check it out, I can't. I can't because I want to play it myself at some point. We could raid Alex Gambits again. It's been a bit, I think. More security breach. Sure, why not? Let's go. Alright. Would you prefer Celeste? Because I'm honestly just down to raid Alex again. There were times where you begged me to raid Alex. As last time. Alright, fine, Celeste it is. Let me set it up real quick. And then we'll head on over. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this stream. I had a blast. It was fun doing that story quest. I assumed after the story quest we would also be able to do like one more ending of the hangout that we started. But, damn, that story quest really took up basically the entire stream. In any event, next stream will be tomorrow for FNF. So, look forward to that. I'll still have to look if I have enough mods ready for it. I should probably have enough mods. And then we will start our newest game on the channel on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. In any event, I'll see you all around, and we'll see when the next Genshin stream is gonna be. Till then, have a good one, and bye-bye. And yeah, if you're watching this after it's uploaded to YouTube as a VOD, your support has also been greatly, greatly appreciated. And if you do want to catch me live in the future, you can check the description down below. There will be a link to my Twitch, where I stream every single Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days of the week as well. But that's a little bit more inconsistent. If you can also join the Discord, by the way, if you want to hang out with more people. But in any event, I'll see you all around. Have a good one, and bye-bye!